All right, so Bad Education is the newest film from HBO Films, and it follows a prominent public school superintendent as he turns to extreme measures in order to prevent an embezzlement scheme from turning into a public scandal. It's based on the magazine article The Bad Superintendent by Robert Kolker, which just so happens to be based on the real life scandal of the Roslyn High School district in 2002, and is directed by Cory Finley, adapted for the screen by Mike Makowsky, and stars Hugh Jackman, Allison Janney, Geraldine Viswanathan, and Ray Romano. I recently just got a free trial from HBO just so I could watch this film. We don't have HBO in my house, and now I think about it, I should probably cancel that free trial so that way I don't end up getting charged automatically. But I thought this film was riveting from start to finish. There's a lot that this movie has going for it. The performances across the board are absolutely terrific. Hugh Jackman, I think this is honestly one of the best performances of his entire career, and he disappears into this role. And as I've said before, with so many performances, it's very hard when you have someone that's as well known as Hugh Jackman, and you're able to identify him on the screen for this movie as the superintendent that he plays, Frank Tassone, as instead of just assuming or identifying him as Hugh Jackman. And I think this just goes to show from playing the role of Wolverine for 18 years to Jean Valjean in Les Miserables to now this role, which is absolutely captivating. And I think it just shows the range of an actor that he has. I think he's just an all-around wonderful performer. He plays Frank Tassone, which is the superintendent at the center of this entire scandal. And Frank Tassone is realized as this very charming person. You know, you don't want to believe the shady sort of things that he does. There's an insane likability about him, but I don't want to say too much. But watching his character unravel throughout the entire film was very engaging, and it was kind of surprising. And I don't want to say, like I said, I don't want to say too much, but you don't want to believe some of the things that he does, and when you end up doing it, and once you finally end up coming to terms with the fact that he does certain things, he has a bigger role than he wants to let on in this entire scandal, it's it's kind of shocking. But it's like a slow shock. It's not an immediate surprise. It's one of those things where you really think about it, and you think to yourself like, wow, I'm honestly kind of surprised that he was involved to the extent that he was in all of this. Allison Janney, she's one of my favorite actresses working today. She's a terrific performer. She's excellent in this film, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from her. I've really liked her ever since I started watching her on The West Wing, and the fact that she's had such great success in both television and in film. She won an Academy Award for her role in I, Tonya, first time nomination. She's a terrific actress, and this movie is no exception. Ray Romano, he's someone I've loved ever since Everybody Loves Raymond. It's my favorite TV show of all time. A lot of actors, when they're on sitcoms for as long as they are, usually get typecasted where they just don't get a wide range of great roles following the end of whatever show they were on, but that hasn't been the case with Ray Romano. He was recently in Martin Scorsese's The Irishman, fantastic movie, and he was solid as Bob Buffalino. And before that, he was in The Big Sick, and he plays the would-be father-in-law or the father of Kumail Nanjiani's character's girlfriend. And I'm going to be honest with you, I loved him in that movie. I thought he was robbed of an Oscar nomination. That was a film where I was opened up more to the range that Ray Romano has as a performer. And he's terrific in this movie as well. He plays Big Bob Spicer, another administrator caught in the middle of the scandal as well. One of the big things that this film has going for it is the storytelling, and it's mostly in not only the dialogue, the razor-sharp conversations that all the characters seem to have with each other, but again, the characterization. I talked about Frank Tassone already, and watching his character unravel was such a big draw for me in this film. But what I like about this film is that none of the real-life characters in this film, or how they're portrayed in this film, none of them ever feel like, cartoons or like caricatures. This all feels very realistic, very down-to-earth, but at the same time, just very captivating and very tense. And building on that tension, too, I think that has a lot to do with the work of the director, Cory Finley. The tension isn't always like in your face, but it's very subtle. But at the same time, it still punches very hard. There's one scene where one of the nieces of the main culprit of the embezzlement scheme tries to blackmail Frank Tassone, and just like I said, the very subtle tension, nothing like really blows up, but at the same time, the words that they use or that Frank uses to kind of just disarm this person trying to blackmail him is kind of shocking. But at the same time, it's very gripping. It was one of those things where like, wow, that didn't blow up. It didn't blow up on the screen, but it kind of sent that sizzling feeling throughout my spine. Like, wow, I can't believe I just saw that, and I can't believe he just smacked her down so hard without losing his cool, without anyone losing his cool, his or her cool, in a very dramatic fashion. And to more of the credit of the director, this film does take place in Long Island of 2002. Now, there are a couple ways that I felt very immersed in this film, which I think is the main key as to how you know a director has done his or her job very well. When you feel like you're a fly on the wall, you're in the world of the movie. I felt like I was in the world of this movie, and coming from someone who, again, was born and raised in Long Island, there are a few things that I noticed. One was the accents of all the people, of all the characters in this movie, and I noticed, and I thought to myself, is that what we all sound like? I mean, I'm not insulting her or anything like that. It was kind of eye opening. I gotta ask my friends who aren't from Long Island the next time I see them, like, is that how I sound? Like like exactly like in Bad Education, but they probably didn't see this movie, so they're gonna be like, Joe, what the hell are you talking about? But no, I thought that was a nice key, and again, it never felt forced. It never felt like they were trying too hard to pull you in. And even then, too, whether it comes to the establishing shots of certain Long Island suburbs, to one of the characters in the movie, she has to go into the city to do some investigation into the embezzlement. She hops on, there's a shot of her hopping on the Long Island Railroad, and I'm like, oh my God, I used to do that every day before I got put on furlough. So there's a lot of draws for me in this movie. And if there's one thing that I guess that I didn't like, or I guess just didn't meet my expectations, there aren't like a lot of very explosive scenes in this movie, and when it comes to crime stories, for whatever reason, I just have this expectation, but at the same time, that was never a bad thing. So, all in all, I thought this movie was absolutely thrilling from start to finish. I'm going to give this a 93. And I want to know exactly what your thoughts are on this movie in the comment section below. Is my opinion on point? Do you agree with my analysis? Am I overhyping this movie just a bit too much? Don't be shy in the comment section below, or if you're listening to this on a podcast, check out the social media pages that I have in the description if you're listening to this on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and don't be afraid to comment on the post for those particular social media pages. Hi, I'm Joe Acierno. Did you enjoy that clip from Real Talk with Joe Acierno? Don't be shy about it. Subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications on more fun and engaging takes on the entertainment industry. It's that simple.